Donald Trump's return to the White House in 2025 sent shockwaves through America. His victory, fueled by a deeply divided electorate, signaled a continuation of his disruptive brand of politics. From day one, Trump made it clear, his second term would be about cementing his legacy and enacting a deeply conservative agenda. Key to this agenda was Project 2025, a blueprint crafted by the Heritage Foundation, a powerful conservative think tank. This 900-page document, packed with proposals on everything from taxes to education, quickly became a roadmap for the Trump administration. While Trump had distanced himself from Project 2025 during the campaign, his early actions told a different story. Executive orders flew out, mirroring the project's recommendations. Appointments to key positions went to individuals closely aligned with the Heritage Foundation's ideology. The message was clear. Trump was ready to reshape America in his image, and he had the backing of a well-funded, highly organized conservative machine. The Heritage Foundation, with its deep pockets and its army of policy wonks, was now a force to be reckoned with in Washington. Project 2025, once dismissed by some as a fringe manifesto, was now the operating manual for the most powerful government in the world. Trump's sights were set on the sprawling federal bureaucracy, an institution he viewed with suspicion and disdain. His rallying cry, "Drain the swamp," his weapon of choice, the unitary executive theory. Armed with this theory, Trump moved swiftly to consolidate his control. He sought to eliminate job protections for civil servants. Federal spending faced hiring freezes and budget cuts. To spearhead this overhaul, Trump turned to Elon Musk. Musk was tasked with leading the Department of Government Efficiency. The scope of Trump's ambitions extended far beyond trimming the federal workforce. He called for the elimination of the Department of Education. The FBI faced a potential overhaul. The message was clear: the federal government was in for a radical downsizing. Few issues ignited passions in America like abortion. Trump, a staunch opponent of abortion rights, wasted no time in pushing his agenda forward. One of his first acts was to issue an executive order halting federal funding for any organization that provided abortion services, a move aimed at defunding Planned Parenthood. He went further by appointing Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a controversial figure known for his anti-vaccine views, as health secretary. Kennedy Jr.'s first order of business, a review of the safety of mifepristone, commonly known as the abortion pill. This move, seen by many as a thinly veiled attempt to restrict access to medication abortion, sent shockwaves through the reproductive rights community. Project 2025 offered even more radical proposals, including the complete withdrawal of mifepristone from the market, and the use of existing laws to block its distribution through the mail. The battle lines were drawn. On one side, the Trump administration and its anti-abortion allies, determined to roll back reproductive rights. On the other, a coalition of pro-choice advocates, healthcare providers, and women's rights groups vowing to fight for every inch of ground. And immigration, a perennial flashpoint in American politics, took center stage once again under Trump's leadership. The president, who had campaigned on a promise to build a big, beautiful wall along the US-Mexico border, doubled down on his hardline approach. Funding for the border wall, a project mired in controversy and legal challenges, was increased, with Trump vowing to make Mexico pay for it, a claim Mexico vehemently denied. But the wall was just one piece of Trump's immigration puzzle. He pledged to deport millions of undocumented immigrants, a move that would have been the largest mass deportation in American history. This proposal, met with outrage from immigrant rights groups and legal experts, faced an uphill battle in the courts. Trump's immigration policies extended beyond the southern border. He implemented stricter vetting procedures for refugees and asylum seekers, making it more difficult for people fleeing persecution to find safe haven in the United States. The message was clear. America, under Trump, was closing its doors to the world, prioritizing a narrow definition of national security over its tradition as a nation of immigrants. Section 5: The Trump Economy, Boom or Bust. Trump's economic policies, a mix of tax cuts, deregulation, and protectionist trade measures, were both praised and criticized. His signature achievement, a massive tax cut package that slashed corporate and income taxes, particularly benefiting the wealthy. Supporters hailed it as an engine for economic growth, while critics decried it as a giveaway to the rich at the expense of the working class. But Trump's economic ambitions didn't stop there. He set his sights on the Federal Reserve, the nation's central bank, which he accused of stifling economic growth. His radical proposal, abolishing the Fed altogether, a move that sent shockwaves through the financial world. Adding to the uncertainty was Trump's flirtation with the gold standard, a monetary system that pegged the value of the dollar to gold. This idea, popular among some conservatives but dismissed by mainstream economists, raised fears of economic instability and a return to outdated policies. Trump's economic agenda, a mix of orthodox and unorthodox measures, left many wondering. Would it lead to a new era of prosperity, or a return to boom and bust cycles? Section 6. Black Gold Over Green Initiatives. Climate change, a pressing global issue, was met with skepticism and denial by the Trump administration. Trump, who had once called climate change a hoax, made it clear that environmental protection would take a backseat to energy independence and economic growth. He withdrew the United States from the Paris Agreement, a landmark international accord aimed at combating climate change, arguing that it was unfair to American businesses. Trump's energy policy focused on unleashing American energy production, particularly fossil fuels. He rolled back regulations on oil and gas drilling, opened up protected lands and waters to exploration, and revived the coal industry, which had been in decline for decades. Renewable energy, seen by scientists as crucial to mitigating climate change, was sidelined, with research funding slashed and incentives for solar and wind power scaled back. Trump's environmental policies drew condemnation from environmental groups, scientists, and world leaders, who accused him of jeopardizing the planet's future for short-term economic gain. His legacy, they argued, would be one of environmental degradation and a missed opportunity to address one of the greatest challenges facing humanity. Section 7. Trade wars and tariff walls. Trump's America First approach extended to trade policy, where he adopted a protectionist stance, arguing that other countries were taking advantage of the United States. He imposed tariffs, essentially taxes on imported goods, on a wide range of products from China, Mexico, Canada, and the European Union. These tariffs, aimed at protecting American jobs and industries, sparked retaliatory measures from trading partners, leading to trade wars and fears of a global economic slowdown. Trump's trade wars had a ripple effect throughout the global economy. Businesses faced higher costs for raw materials and components, consumers paid more for imported goods, and farmers struggled to find markets for their products. The uncertainty and instability generated by Trump's trade policies cast a long shadow over the global economic outlook. Trump's supporters argued that his tough stance on trade was necessary to level the playing field and protect American interests. His critics countered that his protectionist policies were counterproductive, harming American businesses and consumers, while alienating allies and undermining the global trading system. The debate over Trump's trade policies, like many of his other initiatives, remained sharply polarized. Section 8. The culture wars rage on. Trump's presidency reignited the culture wars, with deep divisions over race, gender, sexuality, and national identity. He stoked these divisions, appealing to supporters who felt left behind by social changes. Emphasizing grievance and resentment, he pitted us against them. He targeted political correctness, viewing it as stifling free speech, encouraging his supporters to speak their minds, even offensively. This was seen by some as refreshing, by others as a license for hate speech. His presidency also focused on national identity and patriotism, promoting a vision of America as a white Christian nation. His immigration policies were seen as discriminatory. Trump's approach left a deeply divided nation. Section 9. A legacy yet to be written. As Donald Trump's second term unfolded, it was clear that he was determined to leave an indelible mark on America. His sweeping agenda, fueled by a potent mix of conservative ideology, populist rhetoric, and personal ambition, touched every aspect of American life. From the halls of government to the kitchen tables of ordinary Americans, Trump's presidency was a time of upheaval, uncertainty, and profound change. His supporters hailed him as a transformative figure, a disruptor who challenged the status quo and fought for the forgotten men and women of America. His critics condemned him as an authoritarian demagogue, a threat to American democracy and the rule of law. Only time will tell what the ultimate legacy of Donald Trump's presidency will be, but one thing is certain: America will never be the same.